It's Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. So this is my first update this week to catch you up on the last 3 days. I was able to get a little bit of resting in on the weekend. I mostly just worked in the honey house and paled off honey as it was settling and draining out of that cappings wax, as I've described before. Went on a date with my wife Saturday, so it was really nice for a change. And let's see, Sunday was a mostly restful day. Again, a little bit of honey house, but mostly restful. Monday was back in the city. More honey in the packer, more deliveries, errands, odds and ends, things like that. So nothing too heavy duty, but it took all day. I think I counted up like 17 stops in one day. So back at it Tuesday, and it is a sunny and bright Tuesday here. Of course, as the season goes on, that sun gets lower and lower here, and it's right there. So I can't look south because I can't see anything. And I'm out here to, first of all, try to fill up some of these pails again. I see a little bee here. So I definitely want to fill the gallon pails on the nukes, and I might refill some big pails on the big colonies. The big colonies should almost have enough by now. I'd like to get another pail into the nukes, but we'll feed them until kind of they can't take anymore, or another week anyway. I'd like to feed into the first week in October if I can, weather permitting. It has to be reasonable temperatures. It can't be too cold. They need to cure the syrup after all. And I'm anxious to try a new dispensing system. Yesterday in my travels, I stopped by one of my favorite stores, and I bought 100 feet of 1-inch hose, and I also bought a made in USA fuel style dispenser. They call it a manual style, meaning it doesn't have that click shut off thing. So they're expensive enough. I think this was $55 or something. So I'm going to plumb that into my new 100-foot hose and hook that 100-foot hose up to my syrup system. And then we'll see how far 100 feet goes. I might have to carry some of these pails a little ways, but maybe not too far, and maybe not as far, which would be a bonus. So that's what today is going to consist of to start with. And if I have the energy and I have the time, I think I would like to hit a round of oxalic acid here today or tomorrow. Friday is going to be really nice, they say. So Friday is going to be my day to hit things like this. There's 3 of these doubles. These are actually over queen excluders, so they need to go down into singles for the winter. Well, I want them to go down. They don't have to, but I want to push them down into singles. So that's going to be some rooting around in there. I don't know what's in the bottom box. Is the bottom box got, is it full of syrup? If it's full of syrup, no problem. I just shake the bees and Bob's your uncle. But if syrup's all in the top box and the bottom box is, largely empty, then I'm going to need to get the syrup into the bottom. I don't expect there's going to be a lot of brood, but there might be 1 or 2 frames of the little patch of brood. We were out here a week ago yesterday, I think it was. Derek was out doing sampling for Varroa and Nosema, and I got my Varroa samples results back. They were not disturbing, but they were a little bit higher than I would like. We were looking at anywhere from 0.5% to 6.5%. But the higher ones, there were only like 2 out of 10 that were higher than 2 or 3. So I don't think we're really, really bad off here. But I thought, we're getting really close to the end of the brood. We weren't seeing tons and tons of brood here a week ago. And I thought it might be time if I can just blast some oxalic acid in those hives now. That should take care of quite a few of those exposed mites because there's not very much brood. So hopefully I can do that today or tomorrow. I'm going to have to drag the generator out here. I'm quite a bit farther from the yard now with the Apiary 2.0, and it's just that much more cord. So I'll be running the generator on this project now at this point. So anyway, that's today and probably tomorrow's job. Okay, I'm about to mix another round of syrup here, but I'm just using up the sugar I have left, so it's not going to be a full tank, and there's some syrup in the tank now, so that requires a little bit of math. And I'm going to try and demonstrate to you, whether you think I don't know metric or not, if you can mix your sugar water ratio by metric standards, it's super easy to do the math. Not any of this, imperial stuff. Whether or not you think you know metric, it doesn't matter, because it's simple math. I want a 2-to-1 ratio here. So I want twice as much sugar as I want water by weight. Okay? And I gave you the answer in an earlier video. What you need to know about metric, you don't need to know anything about metric other than the fact that 1 liter of water weighs 1 kilogram. Okay? That's what makes things so easy. So I have 21 bags of syrup here. I have 21 bags of sugar here, and each bag is 20 kilograms. So doesn't matter if it's kilograms, 20 bags at 20 each, or 21 bags at 20 each, is 420, right? So we have 420 kilograms of sugar here. So now we want half as much water, right? So again, what's half of that? It's 210, right? Like 21 times 10. So it's 210 kilograms of water to 420 kilograms of sugar. That's all you need to know. Now all I have to do is add 210 liters of water to the 300 liters of water that's in the tank, and I come up with 510 liters of water. It's not quite 300 liters of syrup in the tank now, so I'm going to go on about 500, maybe just under 500, because I can always add more water. But once I run out of sugar, I can't add more sugar. So this is just me trying to be helpful. This is not me trying to say this is better, that's better. Well, it is better in this case, but what's better about it is it's easy to do. It's super easy to do in any amount you happen to have. If you want to do a 1-to-1 ratio, you got a kilogram of sugar and a liter of water, that's a 1-to-1 ratio. Take 2 kilograms of sugar and a liter of water, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. Super easy. So that's just trying to help you out a bit. You can argue metric or imperial all you want, but when you can do math easy in your head. I realize that not all countries label all products in kilograms on the package. Like these are 20 kilograms, whereas probably in America you'd have a 50-pound bag, I would imagine. So these are like about 45-pound bags, thereabouts. It's 2.204 pounds per kilogram. So anyway, I'm going to get mixing this stuff up. I just thought that might help you a little bit, making your weight to water ratios. It's Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. I've been spending most of my day preparing to do the job I'm going to do now. That's the way it goes sometimes. You spend most of your time actually getting ready to do a job instead of actually doing it. So I'm at my out yard here, and I'm going to try to do 2 things. I mentioned on my video yesterday that I was going to try to perhaps get a round of oxalic acid on my home yard. That didn't happen. I jammed out. I could have, but just that I didn't have it kind of all set up. I have to gather all my equipment, get everything ready, and that's what I've done. So that was part of getting ready for today, and hopefully I didn't forget anything. It's probably best that I do oxalic acid on my home yard before I go to the out yard, because then I know what I'm going to need. I always forget some little thing and makes it really hard or even impossible. But I brought everything I think I'll need. And the other thing I want to do here today is I want to feed these bees. These pails should be empty, and I'm just going to put maybe half a pail on here, just a mop up thing, and and make sure that they're plugged up and got everything they need. Again, a week and a half ago we were in the colonies, and the ones we looked at 10 over at the home yard, which has been fed the same as this yard, and they had just a little patch of brood in some of the frames, a couple frames at best. So I want to make sure I got enough syrup to pack that out, and so I want to add some. I'm assuming these bees are in similar condition. Hopefully they finished their pails. If they haven't finished their pails, then not sure. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes that's the pail's problem, and sometimes it's the bees' problem. So I mixed up the balance of my remaining sugar late yesterday. It's sat in the tank, so it's nicely clarified and settled. I always get a little precipitate because I mix it as thick as I can, and then if I get a little bit of precipitate out of the syrup, then I know that it's as heavy as I can possibly make it. I'm kind of hiding in the shelter of some big trees here because it's a very breezy day. It's very warm, very sunny, and a south breeze, so that means it's warm. We get a south breeze, especially in the spring, winter, spring, fall, summer too, but it's most notable in the shoulder seasons and the winter. When you get that south breeze, it gets warm. Conversely, by cracky, you get that north breeze and it's cold. So I apologize if there's wind noise on the little microphone. Probably won't be doing too much talking here, and I'm just going to do what I did yesterday. stretch the long hose out that I've got for my syrup tank now, start the pump, and pump some syrup down the line. And I'm gonna wear my veil today. I'm wearing long pants though, and I'm really hot. I wish I'd have worn shorts, but it is what it is. And that's about it. That's what's going to happen here today. It's Thursday, September 29th, 2022. What a beautiful, beautiful day it is. I almost wish I had a ton of bee work to do, which I kind of do, but going into the bees, because it's such a gorgeous day. A little bit breezy still, but again, that's why it's warm. A nice south breeze here. I'm out here for really only one reason. If you've been watching the videos, you'll know that I just fed all these bees. I filled these pails about half. I filled the small pails up a couple days ago, and yesterday I applied a round of oxalic acid. I fed the bees, and I applied a round of oxalic acid at the out yard, and today I'm going to follow up with a round of oxalic acid vapor here at the main yard. Now, people always ask, well, when do you do it, and when should I do it? I'm no expert. You do it whenever you want. It's not very expensive. It's not going to hurt the bees. So just do it. The important thing is to do it. If you're overthinking about when, then just do it. Of course, as I stated in another video, it's best to do it when there's not a lot of brood in the hive. But even if there is, you're going to catch sporadic mites. There's always one. There's always one just trying to teach you a lesson. So that's really the only kind of rule. Typically, I'm applying this later on when it's cooler outside. It's usually about 5°C, so the bees aren't flying. The bees are tucked into the colony, into the hive. Now, my feeling is that doing it at too low a temperature, then you have a cluster that's really tight. So is the vapor going to permeate that cluster? I think so. because you start shooting oxalic acid vapor in there and they hightail it out the door. You're supposed to block the entrance, but I don't. I've always had really good success with it, doing post and pre and post testing. It's worked just fine what I'm doing, so that's what I do. I got my tests back, test results back from the sampling, and might levels weren't crazy, but some of them were a little bit higher than really I'm comfortable with. So I thought, you know what, why am I going to wait? Why not just do a round, blow off some vapor in these hives? It's going to kill some of those mites. That'll do nothing but good things for the bees. I may not hit them again for another couple of weeks. Generally, I want to move the bees from the outyard back here before I do oxalic acid vapor. Just simpler. I don't have to haul my generator around. I don't have to travel. So that usually happens around Thanksgiving. I'm Canadian, so Thanksgiving happens second Monday in October. I told you, she stung me in the ear. She meant business too. She didn't even land and then hunker down. She came in, stinger first, hit me right there. So yeah, so around Thanksgiving or so, move my bees back here generally, and that is usually dictated by the weather because I want a cool day. I want a cool day to move them back in here so that I don't have to bother blocking entrances and the bees aren't going to get out, all that kind of stuff. So I'll just pick a cool day, run over there, grab them, bring them back. So then after that, I will generally then do at least 3 rounds of oxalic acid. If I can do 4, I will. Will this count as one of the 4? I guess so. Again, it's not expensive and it really is easy on the bees, so don't get too wrapped up in overthinking that, is my advice. And again, you know, I don't know everything and I don't know much. So don't use me as your rule book as to how to do things. You have to figure that out for yourself. This is what I'm doing, and it's what I'm doing. I like Mike's take on that. It's not a how-to video. Don't use me as a how-to on these videos. You know, I'm glad that there's people who check in and see what I'm doing, but leave it at that. Don't make notes in your rule book as to how to do it, because that's how that bee man does it. It's just what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I don't know if you can hear the generator. I've got it stashed over here behind my apiary camper and behind a pile of pallets there. So I don't like the noise. I like the quiet in the apiary. I don't even play music or anything while I'm working. I just work here. I can hear the breeze. I can hear the bees. It just kind of really my zen place. So it's actually pretty quiet back there because it's back there. It's noisy back there, but it's not that noisy up here. I definitely can hear it, but it's not crazy. So I'm using my L'Oreal Bees vaporizer again today. I had to effect a little bit of a repair on the ProVap today. I should have done it before, but I always leave things last minute, of course. And I had some pretty bad leakage on the ProVap last year. These 2 units are similar, but not exactly the same. On the ProVap, the heating pad, I don't know, the bottom thing that makes the heat is separate from the bowl, and so you're relying on that seal between the heater and the bowl. The bowl is just a ring; it's not a bowl. So it was leaking there really bad last year, unacceptably so. And so I took that apart today, and I applied some Permatex number 2 gasket maker. The top limit of the heat tolerance of that gasket maker is right around where this vaporizer runs. So I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but if it doesn't work out, then it leaks and I have to do something else. So I need some high heat. gasket material, some kind of RTV that'll put up with, maybe I'm going to say, 300C or something like that. Anyway, so today is Larabies only. Got my cord stretched out already. I'm going to start at the far end, and I don't think I'm going to belabor you with the videoing of this. You've seen enough of me just walking around hives, and but I'm in shorts again today, so that's good. It's so warm and sunny that I hate working in long pants. It gets so hot, but I am going to wear a veil. I've been warned that I should wear a veil, so I think I'm going to. I don't know if you could see it. I don't know that you can hear it either, but this apiary is just a madhouse. These bees are everywhere, and it's nice to see. They're robbing everything they can. There's a little bit of syrup leaking here and there. I can see over in that double over there. They're hanging off the crack under between the lid and the box. I'm certain they can't get in there, but boy, they're trying. I think they'll drill a hole right through there if they could. But it's just the season. That's the season, right? The little guys have entrance reducers. The big guys, generally, they can fend for themselves. So yeah, this is a fantastic day. So that's what today's job is. Well, I didn't do too good here today. I've been having trouble with the vaporizers, and I'm sure glad I'm finding out that they're being trouble now, because it's not critical that I treat these bees now. In another couple of weeks it will be. So I managed to get that whole row treated, and I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 on this row. So that's like 30. So that's pretty good. I got probably I got 15 or 20 done with the Lorab. I used the Lorab all day yesterday and it seemed to be fine. It did seem to be a bit slow, so I'm not sure if that's related, but today I got maybe 15 in, and it just stopped heating. The displays look completely normal, although the current temperature display just kept going down and down and down and down, and it wouldn't heat up. I took it in and cleaned the connections at the bottom for the ground connection, and made sure that was really good. Made sure everything was tight, and tested. It still doesn't heat. There's nothing. So it just turns on, and the display just shows about room temperature. Is about it. So I pressed the ProVap into service, and it performed well. I think it did start to leak after a while, but I think the Permatex 2 gasket maker, kind of like an RTV, it's just in a tube, seemed to help a lot. And so I did quite a few, finished off that row, and then did quite a few of these with the ProVap. So it was working probably 3 times as fast as the Lorab was working. So there's something wrong with that Lorab. It's a better unit than that. So anyway, but the ProVap is still a little bit leaky. Maybe I just have to put up with it. It seems to be still vaporizing the bees. So yeah, I have to just put up with some of that. The Lorab isn't very old. I've only used it about a year, and the ProVap's got a lot of miles on it. It doesn't owe me anything if I have to replace it. I don't want to replace it. It's big money, but in context, if you're treating with Apivar, if I'm treating with Apivar, 1 round of Apivar is about 1.5 times as much money as 1 ProVap vaporizer costs, brand new. So I could buy myself a brand new ProVap every fall and still be saving about $300 on over treating with Apivar. But I have no intention of treating with Apivar, so that's really not a good comparison, because I need a vaporizer, and I need one that works, and I need one that works reliably. And that's not really what I'm finding. And I don't know if just buying a new unit is what's required. Buying some new parts. I know you can buy parts for the ProVaps, the Lorabs too, but I could buy a new bowl and stuff for the ProVap. Maybe that would fix up the leaking problem. Um, maybe that's what's required. They're pretty expensive parts, that's all, but a lot less than buying a new unit. So I'm shutting it down for today. I didn't get much done, but I'm going to go back to the honey house and pour some more honey. We're almost to the end of that. And shut the generator off. And we'll revisit this perhaps tomorrow. But I'm going to do some work tomorrow. I have some colonies to go through, and I think there's 3 here I need to push down. And there's at least one got no queen, and I got to take that apart. And there might be more. I'm just going to do some checks tomorrow. So I'll bring you along for that. So thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. It's Friday, September 30th, 2022. It's starting out to be a little bit of a cooler day, but the forecast is calling for 20°C. And I don't think it's going to be as breezy as it has been, which will be nice. So I'm using today as maybe my last real good day to deep dive in some of these colonies. I have 3 objectives here. You may see there's one right here. There's a double. And of course I've described that before. There was some extra brood that I put in over Queen Excluder. There's 3 of these. A little different story on each one, but that has to be taken care of. I want that to be a single for winter. So I just need to go in there and make sure the bottom box has all the syrup syrup frames that it can take, and then take that top box away. Second thing is, I know there's actually a dead out there. I think it's there. I need to take that away, and I'm going to take a kind of a cursory look on other colonies. I suspect there's 1 or 2 more that have no queen, and they're not going to go anywhere anyway. So I will recover those as well. And the third thing that I want to accomplish is I want to put my little temperature sensors in 4 of my colonies. I have 4 temperature sensors. These are brood minders. Of course, you may have seen them with the long strip case and whatnot. That case only lasts a season. The bees just mess it up and it falls apart. Manufacturer wants $5 for a case. A buddy who uses these said that you just get a SD card case and fits perfectly, and he's right, it does. It fits perfectly. I put my number 4 on there. I've got 4 of them. So I'm going to slide those in colonies just so I can watch temperatures over the winter into the spring and summer. I would leave them in the whole time, but the batteries last a long time, but usually you want to change that battery before winter, because if the battery goes dead over the winter, you're not likely going to go and change it. So that is the third thing. I put OAV on the back burner for now, so to speak. I may pick that up again in a few days. I did pretty good here, but I was having some trouble. I emailed the manufacturer of the Lorabis, and he's pretty responsive. He got back to me with a possible fix, and so we're going to affect that and see if that's the fix. If it is, I'll let you know how all that goes and what the problem was, etc., and what I think about it. Because there's no sponsors here. I tell you exactly what I think of equipment, so you can perhaps make good choices without feeling that I'm trying to sell something, because I have nothing to sell. Just my radiant personality. That's all I have. This one here that's mostly dead. There's nothing left of it really. Needs to be shaken out. There's a little cluster. What tipped me off about this was I was feeding, and I checked it through the feed hole. I could see the pollen patty sitting there, so that means they haven't been taking the pollen patty. If they don't have a queen, they're not brooding, they don't take the pollen patty, because they don't store it, right? They don't store patty. It's already stored. If they are brooding, they'll consume it and use it for brood. If they're not brooding, they don't touch it. So this just needs to be shaken out here. I'll take those frames off into storage and leave this empty spot. Now consolidate onto my pallets because I don't want, odd numbers here for the winter when the weather's cool. It doesn't have to be real cold, but it has to be, a couple days so that they forget where they live. And then if you move a box, they're not going to, drift back. So that's just what I wait for. And there's plenty of time for that. It's a bit of a heavy job because these boxes are super heavy when they're fed up for winter. But if I do it right, there's not that many to move. And maybe I can use my hive lifter machine for that. So anyway, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my veil on because I'm crazy. I'm not stupid. And then I'm going to shake that out, take that box away. Thanks for watching this nonsense, and have a great day and have fun.